The following I'll have to tell in a couple of parts, this video and the next one. Now, I said in a previous video that we are predestined, and we can often recognize kindred spirits in others even before we or they are saved. You remember Jim in the seniors room. We were predestined, called and justified by God, and one day we'll be glorified. See Romans 8:29 following. The whole drama is orchestrated by God. And yet, and this is critically important, the choice is given. We have free will. Predestined, yes, but not programmed. We ourselves choose, yet we are chosen since before the creation of the world. We can't understand this with our earthbound minds. It's a sublime truth to bring joy, not consternation. It's good news to delight us, not a puzzle to trouble us. So, going back a further 3 years or so from the situation in the seniors room, I was probably about 13, and Alan was my closest friend. Now, I've already said that I wasn't exactly Saint Kevin during my childhood and haven't made shattering progress since, but that's because people haven't been nice to me. However, Alan was me on steroids. Alan was a champion. Alan was a Viking. He was very fair-skinned, of average height but thickly built. His face was a picture. First, the mop of straw-coloured hair, not light blonde, but yellow straw colour and thick. And then the eyes, oy vey, piercing blue with a touch of wildness. His ancestors had to be seafarers. A well-formed nose with, yes, flared nostrils. Why do these crazies always have flared nostrils? But the coup de grace, trying to be clever now, the coup de grace was the front tooth. He had a gold front tooth. Now, I never asked how he got that tooth, but if he'd told me he was born with it, I would have believed him. If anyone should have a gold front tooth, it was Alan. And I marvel that he didn't have one eye like Kirk Douglas in the Vikings. Well, Alan was a lightning rod for trouble, and oh, how he relished trouble. Maybe my memory exaggerates, but I'm sure that every day we went exploring and trouble followed. Wading in the local river, swinging through trees, walking along the 90-foot-high parapet of the cinema, which scared me stiff. This Viking took me to faraway places. I suppose Vikings are just like that. They find new lands. Or fights. The end of every school week had to be topped off with a scrap. We would choose a victim, somebody we felt deserved a lesson. I would set it up with a challenge, and when things got particularly nasty, Alan would dive into the dust cloud, and together we'd give the new pupil a lesson for life. You see, we taught humility like the monks of old, and sometimes we were humbled ourselves, but not usually. Alan, you see, was irrepressible. I tried to warn him sometimes when he was aggravating a bigger boy 2 or 3 years older than us, but it seemed to goad him on all the more. I've seen him return home with his face blooded, but his blue eyes still bright. Maybe Alan was nuts, but I liked him. He was honest, true, never afraid of danger to himself, and always up for a lark. Life was an adventure to Alan. He would have made a great Christian. Where are you now, Alan? I hope you found the Lord. I loved him in the wild, ruffian way. I'll say more in the next video.